I want to talk you through the basics of a chi-square analysis. A chi-square analysis allows you to compare two groups of people based on an intervention you may have done. So the first problem that I give you in the lecture is about the Blue department store and wanting to change their people who are coming to their store. So what they do is they take their historical data. They take a look at what percent of our people are high class, how many are high middle class, how many are lower middle class, and how many are lower class. So they take those percents. Then they do some different type of advertising. And after they've done the advertising, they come back, maybe it's 6 months later, and they take a sample of the people who went to the store one day. And that one day, they had 600 people go to the store. So your total observed sample would be 600. The first thing we're going to do is to look at how many categories they had. And I believe in this problem, we had 4 categories: wealthy, upper middle class, lower middle class, and lower class. So they are going to then say, we have 4 categories. To find our degrees of freedom, we need to take our total number of categories, also known as cells, or K, and subtract 1 to deal for any change with the data. So K equals 4, and K minus 1 would 4 minus 1 equals 3. So our degrees of freedom that we will need to use later on our chi-square chart will be 3. The next thing we would do would be to figure out our expected number in each category. How you're going to do that is you're going to take your total number of people you observed, 600, and multiply that by the expected, or the historical data actually, the historical percent. So, for example, if you had 10% that were lower class, 10% times 600 for your total number would be 60. And so your E for that cell would be 60. If you had 20% wealthy, you're going to go 20% times 600, which equals 120. And you can see we did the same for each of the cells. Remember, you want your percents to add up to 100, right? So you're covering all your people historically. And you also can double check your work by, once you have your total number in each category, add those numbers up, and they should equal your total O, which in this case was 600. So now you're ready to put it into that chart that you see in the lecture. You're going to see, that doesn't work. O, and then E, then O minus E, then O minus E squared, and then O minus E squared, all divided by E. So I'm going to talk you through it because my notes did not show up on that video. So O, look at the lecture, 150, or print out that lecture, minus 120, which was your E. 150 minus 120, the next column, you'd give that a 30. You're going to go over to the next column, O minus E squared. 30 times 30 is 900. Then you're going to take O minus E squared divided by E. So O minus E squared was 900. Go back to your second column, which was E, and you're going to put that all over 120. 900 divided by 120 equals 7.5. You're going to do that for each of your other categories or cells. So your O, what you observed, would be 290. What you would have expected was 40%, so 40 times 60 is minus 240. That equals O minus E would be 50. 50 squared is 2,500, and then it's 2,500 over E, which was 240. The mistake I most commonly see on exams is you don't look carefully and see what the E was. Okay, I hope that helped. Now, what if you weren't given the number for each category of O, but were just told you had 600 and you were given the percent for each? Could you do that? Yes. Simply take your total O, 600, times what that percent was. So if it is, your first one is 25%, 600 times 25%, I bet is 150. I know it is. So there you go. Remember that, as you may or may not be given all of your raw numbers, you will always be given your total O. If you have the specific numbers, add those up. That will give you your total O. Or you'll be given your total O with percents. To find E, you always go to the historical data. You may be given historical data in percents, in which case you multiply it by your total O. But what if you were given raw numbers for your historical data? You would add up your total raw numbers, find out what number that is. Say it's 1,000. Then you would multiply 1,000, where you would find out what percent each of your raw numbers were of 1,000. And then you've got the percents, and you can multiply your percents by your total O so that you get your expected frequency. Please review this video, read the lectures. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to call. Thank you.